Now,
Life, Sports, and Stuff, episode 71. I'm Mickey.
I'm Lurch.
And I'm Brother Dan.
And the dumbass is not here.
Not here.
Well, the dumbass is taking care of his family, so we'll be nice to him tonight. Stem is not with us tonight. Stem is with his little one, Addie, our last football game of the season. It is the hometown battle between the two high schools here in our hometown. So he promised her he would go, and we have switched our recording nights and taping because of me. So tough. He misses. I don't even feel bad about it. Plus, not only is he missing the show because he's at the football game, they are in an hour and a half lightning delay. So he's not going to get home till after we're done doing the show.
He's going to be grumpy. Very grumpy.
And how can you tell the difference?
True. Very true.
So
he's born that way.
Yes, he was. Absolutely. He was born that way. Life, Sports, and Stuff Universe. How are you this week? Hope you had a good week. Big shout out to our boy down in South of Florida. The great, the one, the only Adam Jason. These days, our song, it is our song. I've been telling you that for over a year and a half now. He is rocking and rolling. He's still performing. He's actually getting out more now than he was before COVID. So nothing is going to slow this man down. Believe it or not, Mrs. Mickey and I went out for dinner the other night. We went to an establishment here that does live music, and I tried to book him a gig. But the manager at the time would only let him do it during the week. So we're in negotiations. I'm trying to get him, prime time Saturday.
Money.
Exactly. Now, if we can get him prime time Saturday, we're going to have to do a special Saturday night Live, Sports, and Stuff live from the venue.
We can do it.
Now, we're not going to.
We have the technology now.
You spend enough money, we absolutely do. We're not going to tell you the venue yet until they come through. Yeah, until they come through. When they come through, we'll give them a shout out and we'll book it. So, Adam Jason, how you doing, my friend? Lots of things going on in the world today. We're going to start off with sports because it's playoff time in baseball. Basketball is about 3 weeks away, a month away. And hockey is about 2.5 weeks away. And football is 25% done. We're entering week 5. So the big four are cranking. World Cup qualifying is going on right now as we speak. USA is taking on Jamaica. So we're talking.
I'm check 2-0.
USA.
I'll check right now.
We're talking soccer, and Stem's not here. He's going to be so disappointed. NASCAR.
It's wrapping up.
A fluke. It's wrapping up, and a fluke happened the other day.
Oh, please!
Not him winning.
Bullshit.
Well, it's happened a lot in the last couple of years.
And honestly, you know what? It's super speedway, and it happens. You can't get mad at super speedways.
I just want to know why. So it was more okay. Here's what happened. NASCAR had their race in Talladega in Alabama, and it's the super speedway. It's what the largest track or the second largest track on
it's
the circuit.
Same as Daytona. The same thing.
Okay, so they're the two largest tracks in the circuit for NASCAR. The race got suspended due to weather, lightning
on Sunday. Yep.
And because they were more than halfway done.
No, Sunday they only had 2 laps. Monday they restarted on Monday.
Okay, so they restarted Monday and they got most of the way done, and then it happened again, the weather.
Correct.
But they were halfway done this time. And the rule in NASCAR is when you're half done, that's it. The race, if can't continue.
If it's over halfway through the race, if they can't continue due to weather and something happens, the race is finalized.
And that's what happened on Monday. So they finalized the race. It never got completed, but it did go more than 50%. And your winner, his first ever NASCAR win, Bubba Wallace.
Cup Series win.
Cup Series win, Bubba Wallace. Now, he led a total of
1 lap.
He
picked the right lap to lead.
No, there was a wreck right before the rain. The 2 leaders in front of him.
He stayed on the track.
The cars in front of
and
him all
got
wrecked
ahead of
out.
them. And he got ahead of them before
Under
the yellow
caution, the
came
rain
out.
came. No, they had caution laps, and the rain started during the caution laps. And
He
for him,
was technically in the lead for about 37 seconds.
Well,
but you know
good
what? It's a
strategy.
win. I don't
Yep,
like
it
Bubba
is a
personally,
win.
you know that. But you know what? Michael Waltrip did it that way. Justin Haley did it that way. First time winners at the high speedway tracks. I mean, it happens. The only place those usually happen at is the two super speedways. Anyone can win at those tracks, and they joke about. Anyone can win.
I just found it ironic because 2 weeks ago we were talking about how he's done nothing since the whole last year debacle, and now he got a win for being in front for 37 seconds. So it is what it is. Baseball's tonight. The playoffs are underway. Probably one of the more exciting times. I think for baseball, this is one of the more exciting times. Opening day week. It used to be opening day Thursday, and then they rearranged the schedule. It became Monday. Now opening day is different days for everybody. But that whole week of opening day is exciting. And then when they come back from All-Star break, that July, August time, that as they get down the stretch, those are the highlights for baseball for me. So we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, really good wild card games last 2 days. You know, the Yankees Boston game 2 nights ago, and then we followed up with, I'm sorry, was that last night, right?
2 nights ago.
Two
You're
nights
right.
ago,
2
yeah,
nights.
yeah. And then we've you know, the one today. I'm sorry, no, that was last night, right? Or 2 nights ago,
No,
whatever
that
it
was
was.
2 nights ago.
Yeah,
And last
whatever
night
it
was the
was.
Dodgers and the
Last night was the
Cardinals.
Dodgers Cardinals, and that was actually a great game too. Came down the end. So, you know, this is a good
Walk-off
time for
home run.
baseball. Yep, great
It's a good time.
wild
tonight,
card games. I'm
Yep.
glad that MLB added the extra game.
It is. It's actually helped them out with their ratings and their attendance. So earlier today, the White Sox lost to the Houston Astros.
Laid an egg. Laid an egg to the cheaters.
Laid an egg, and I watched the game.
Fox screwed up on?
Yes.
Yes.
Fox went to commercial in the middle of a play. Very nicely done. And right now, the Tampa Bay Rays, pretty much our adopted hometown team here in Central Florida, are blanking the Bo Sox 4-0 in Tampa. One of those fluke home runs happened earlier in the game. For those of you that have never seen a game at Tampa's Tropicana Field or watched one on TV, it's a dome stadium, but it's not the traditional dome. It's got an erector set up in that is held together by a plastic cover. And if you hit that, the ball is live. Well, it's got 4 circles that holds everything in place. If you hit the 2 inner circles, it's a live ball and falls, you can keep running. If you hit the 2 outer circles, it's considered a home run because they're high enough where the ball would have gone over the fence. One of them hit the last highest speck of the roof. They're saying the ball went as high as it did as far. So it's an interesting stadium to watch baseball in. Baseball purists hate it. The casual fan thinks it's interesting. I like it, and I'm an old-time baseball fan.
I thought if it's in the sand, it's a home run.
Well,
Not in this stadium.
It's one of the shittiest stadiums in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's older. It doesn't make sense, but yet the city doesn't want to help with funds or getting them a new stadium. It's been talked about for years, and they're still not able to get it done. I heard
they got
something.
2 years left.
Yeah, they got to do something because that stadium is terrible, and for a team that has, you know, they're a mid cap team, kind of like my Braves, and they're been good in and out for the last few now. So hoping that they get back to the World Series. Although I hate the Dodgers, so I'd rather see them get eliminated.
Yeah, there's 2 years left on that Tampa Bay contract with the city of Tampa Bay, and if they don't get a new stadium, they're threatening to leave. So, you know, but they keep winning. They won the division last year. They won the division this year. Tomorrow, the Braves and the Brewers, and the Dodgers
all the
and the
games tomorrow.
Giants.
Yeah, you got the AL teams playing game 2 tomorrow, and then Saturday the NL teams will play their game 2. So it's a full weekend of baseball.
Yep. If you're a baseball fan, this is the fun time of the year for you. Week 5 of the NFL is in spring, is kicking into spring, and then week 6 of college football, who week after week proves how incompetent they are in the rankings. The top two teams they get right because it's without a doubt the top two teams are Alabama and Georgia this year. Then it gets a little mucky where you're talking about the Cincinnati's and you're talking about the Oklahomas and the Penn States and the Iowas. Flip a coin, pick the next two any way you want. Here's where it gets confusing when you start talking about the one-loss teams. About 3 weeks ago, Oregon went to Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and beat Ohio State on their home field in the Horseshoe, as it's called. A great game. Oregon had to play a perfect game, and they did. When the rankings came out this week, Ohio State is ranked one spot ahead of Oregon. Now, Stem's not here to defend his ridiculous sport. So, brother Dan, Lurch, would either one of you like to tell me how a team lost at home and is ranked ahead of the team they lost to?
It's the college football has always been this way, and it's always they go by the most recent week. They forget about the past and they go on. So Oregon, I believe, just lost to Stanford, right? I believe they just lost to Stanford.
Yes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, because they did lose to Stanford, who's not a very good team this year, they kind of poo-poo on them, and that's how they do it. They don't look at head-to-head matchups. They look at what you do week in, what you're doing the current week, and that's where they get their rankings from. I mean, what was Cincinnati? I think was up to 5.
Yes, they're at 5.
You're gonna tell me Cincinnati's not one of the top 4 after what they did to Notre Dame? I mean,
well, they've got Iowa, who beat Iowa State, who was in the top 10 when they beat them. They've got Penn State, who has beat Wisconsin and Indiana back to back.
Yeah,
and,
it's what you do the next week. They just they kind of lose their minds, and they just forget what happened early in the season. That's why they always say, if you're going to lose a game, lose early, because if you lose late, it's going to hurt you a lot more.
Which is funny because when they do the playoffs, strength of schedule counts.
Right.
So strength of schedule counts for the playoffs, but it doesn't count for the rankings each week, which determine the playoffs.
Because it's fucking stupid.
It is. And if Stem were here right now, it would be another week he couldn't defend because.
What if hey, the game just ended, by the way.
Oh, they did? Who won?
Oviedo killed him 43-14.
I'm not surprised.
He's going to be very unhappy. We are Haggerty families, all of us except for Lurch. Lurch is an Oviedo guy, but the rest of us are Haggerty. So I don't know. College football's got their own problem. The games have been great. I've been trying to get into it and watching it. The games have been really good. Our hometown team has been laying an egg recently, so they got to get their what together. So we'll see. A lot of stuff happening in sports. We can't leave out the female sports. And I'm going to segue into 2 topics about this, gentlemen. First, I'm going to talk about, did you see what happened? Did you check out the news clips today about women's basketball? There was apparently a brawl in Atlanta.
That was back in May.
Right. But it happened with the Atlanta Dream female basketball team.
There's only 2 players.
They're the ones who posted it. They posted themselves get into a brawl with people outside the arena and didn't tell anybody.
I thought it was a food truck thing.
I don't know what it was, but it was people, and the players themselves posted it on their social media accounts. Didn't tell anybody, and it got leaked and got cut.
If you put it on social media, it's not leaked. You put it up there, the world's going to see it.
Well, they thought that their social media accounts were private, and somebody sent it to their owner, who cut both players from the team.
Well, actually, no. Only one player was still playing. The other one retired. The big tall girl was retired.
It said both got cut.
Okay, I read the article. It said one is a current player and one's a former player.
Okay, so
but she's the star of the team.
She is the star of the team. She was the number 6 overall pick 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. She leads the team in pretty much every category. And they're in their playoffs right now for anybody who actually attends a WNBA basketball game. I mean, they're having trouble themselves. this is not going to help because their number one team in the league got kicked out of their arena 2 weeks in a row for concerts. They made the playoffs. They're the number one seed and a concert. And I couldn't even tell you who played the concert. That's how ridiculous it was. Forced them to leave the arena and find a home to play a playoff game.
Realistically, though, how many people go to those games?
I did a chart about a year ago, before actually about a year and a half. It was before COVID hit, and because you can't go by 2020, you can't go by attendance stats 2020. Male sports compared to female sports.
What's it? The WNBA?
It's the WNBA versus the NBA, and this argument happens all the time. Their best NBA player is a girl named Sue Bird. She is actually quite amazing if you've ever watched her play. And they compare her to LeBron James all the time. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I'm not stupid either.
Please tell us
I
you're
know.
not.
Yeah, I know. He is one of the number one players in the league of all time. I know he is. They compare his salary of 20 to 30 million a year compared to her salary, where she's barely breaking 1 or 2 million a year. But when you compare the numbers, they got the same amount of championships, same amount of points, same amount of everything. Well, let's call it like it is. LeBron James is being shown in 130 something countries worldwide, is on ABC, ESPN, and all of the ESPN affiliates every day, 7-8 times a day, and plays in front of crowds between 18 to 25,000 on a nightly basis. Agreed?
Agreed.
Sure.
Sue Bird is shown wherever WNBA is shown, and I don't know.
I got the
outside of,
attendance stats if you want them for last year.
give me, no, not last year. Do 2019. Don't do 2020 because that was COVID, and they're not going to be.
I got 21 here, the 21 season here.
Oh, that's okay. I would still go 2019 before COVID, but go ahead.
Here's this one, then I'll look up 19. This year, there was 12 teams in the league. Total attendance between all 12 teams was 434,000. Average per game was 2,636 people per game.
Yeah, there's no revenue.
Yeah.
There's no money to be made. So how there's your answer. There's your sign.
Oh.
That's why Sue Bird is getting $2 million or LeBron James is getting 20 something or 30 something.
I got your
$19.
19 numbers for you.
There you go. Give me the 19 numbers because those will be a little bit more realistic.
19 total attendance was 1,333,000. Average per game was 6,500.
There you go. So it's a little over 6,000 for an average per game, and I guarantee you that's not all the teams. That's the average. And Brother Dan, you're 100% correct. If nobody's spending money,
right,
you cannot pay them.
Yeah,
I mean, no one's there.
Sharing and all that. And no, there's no revenue stream there. Even the NBA, when you compare it even to, I guarantee if you compare the NFL revenue and even baseball revenue, I guarantee you it beats the NBA's revenue stream.
It does, 100%.
Guaranteed. And it's
okay. Let me ask you a question. Who's the worst team in the NBA?
The worst team in the NBA the last couple of years would have to be
probably the Knicks. The Knicks got to be one of the worst teams.
No, they were
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves are definitely at the bottom. Sacramento Kings are at the bottom. The Knicks got better last year, but over the course of the last 10 years, they've only made the playoffs twice.
Well, what else is stupid is that the NBA does
Orlando
a lottery.
Magic. Yeah.
Okay.
They do a stupid lottery, and that drives me nuts. It's like if you're the worst team, you should have the first pick. Easy.
Well, 2019 attendance records. They don't give me a total thing, but I got team averages.
Go ahead.
The worst attendance for the NBA in 19 were the Timberwolves.
At what?
They averaged 15,000 per game.
Okay, so they averaged 9,000 more, and they were the worst team in the league.
Yep.
That answers all the questions.
Yeah.
Like, let's be perfectly honest. The only female sports that might compare to a male counterpart is tennis and
Soccer.
the majors only.
No, not even soccer. Even the U.S. women's team They were complaining about not getting the same type of money
Money.
that the men's team got, and they were way
But
better. That's probably the only argument that they're actually where they're
right,
100% correct on.
and here's where the problem. Here's where the problem comes in. The only time the women will outsell the men in ticket sales and revenue is World Cup time.
Hmm.
The Women's World Cup will outsell the Men's World Cup. Well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're better, as Brother Dan said. Two, the men haven't made the World Cup the last two World Cups. So there's really nothing to show. I apologize for that. But the problem is that these contracts and TV deals are already in place.
Hmm.
So for the World Cup that's happening next year, the contract's already done. No matter who's on the team, we already can tell you what you're making. If you don't like it, don't go. Like that was my problem. The women last year in soccer who were complaining, they already knew what they were going to make before they got there. They waited till they got there to complain. That's why I was trying to tell STEM the whole time, it's a publicity stunt. The whole thing was done as a marketing thing. And he's like, no, it's wrong. Okay, well, it was, but if it was wrong 2-3 years ago when the contract was done, it's not wrong now. They knew what the contract was.
Right.
You can't get mad at something 3 years after it happened. Either get mad when you signed it or, don't sign it.
And you know what? They should go talk to their players association, whoever the president is, and be like, "Hey, you made us a bad deal." That's the downside of being in a union.
Exactly.
You have to conform to what they say, and if they agree to it, then you got to conform to it as well. You got to play ball.
We have soccer here in America. We have the MSL, and they average anywhere between 12 to 20,000 fans per game, depending on the team.
MLS?
The women have a soccer league, and they barely average 6,000 people.
No,
and that's the good teams.
I
good teams.
I went to a local Pride game probably about 2-3 years ago, and we had front row seats because there was nobody there. And you had Alex Morgan and what's her name, Ali Krieger, and you've got all these USA studs on the team, and nobody showed.
Right.
No,
Did you know that there's a North American softball league for women? Has 5 teams in it. Every time they add teams, they fold because no one goes to the games. One of the teams is in Akron, Ohio, averages 3,000 to 4,000 fans a game. One of the teams was supposed to be here in Orlando with us. Couldn't find a home. They're a traveling team now. They average less than 100 people at their games. So when you want to know why the softball girls don't get the same thing as the baseball guys, you know why. No one's watching you.
No. But they need the support from the NBA and MLB and those owners to be able to stay afloat. There has to be some sort of support system like they do in college. Everybody knows the football team funds all the other athletic programs, uniforms, and expenses and such. So,
well, it used to be that way in basketball. The NBA and the WNBA used to have a partnership. That's why the WNBA was originally only in cities that had NBA teams.
Right.
But as the teams were going broke, the NBA teams didn't want to pay anymore. Like Charlotte had a team. The Hornets had a basketball team for the girls called the Sting. And they're like, look, we're not paying for no one to come anymore. Detroit had a team, got rid of them, sent them to Tulsa. There's now teams in Las Vegas. There's teams in Connecticut. Miami had a team and he couldn't help. So they got rid of it and sent it to Connecticut. It started out as a partnership and fell apart. Yeah. And I don't want it to seem like I'm bashing female sports because I am a huge tennis fan. And I watched the World Cup. Well, I did up until last year, and then I gave up when they were whining and crying more than playing. But I hate the argument the women should be paid the same as men. No, because they don't make the same money as the men make, and they don't do the same things the men make. As great as Sue Bird is, she's never going to do what LeBron James does on the court.
Well, and you're in a job that relies on the revenue and profit sharing from the league, and unfortunately, there's no revenue, there's no money to be made there. I mean, it's not like they're going to work for some major corporation where they're equals and they should get the same thing. It's unfortunately, like you said, attendance. Worst team in the NBA was what, 15,000, Lurch, something like that, versus 6,000 at best, and that was 2019, and you had 2,000 this year, so it's even worse. So
I got the
I'm
soccer numbers if you want it. Men versus
Good.
women's.
probably
Go
not
ahead.
better. Probably not better.
No, give us
Okay.
the men's.
Okay. Total for the whole league. Averages for the men is
This is
21,300.
What is
per
it again?
game.
Say it again, Lou.
21,300.
21.3 for the
Okay,
men.
Yep.
The women were 7,337 average.
And I
So a third.
guarantee you, most of that is coming from the same 4 or 5 cities.
In the women, it's coming from two.
It's two
Portland-
two teams are
Portland
packing it.
Thorns FC
Yep,
averages
they're in-
20,000 people per game.
it's Portland, Oregon. That's
What
all I
else are you gonna do?
got. Exactly.
And Utah Royals are average 10,000 per game.
Utah.
Again,
What
But
what
here,
about-
else
for
are
our
you gonna
hometown
do?
teams, here's our hometown teams.
Go ahead, Orlando
These are
Pride.
19 numbers, by the way. I didn't do 21. This is 19.
That's good. That's when they had a normal season with regular fan support. Go ahead.
Okay, the women in 19 average 5,500 people per game. And Orlando men average 22,000 per game.
How can you
Four
compare? That's a 17,000 person difference in the exact same stadium. They share the stadium. One plays Saturday, one plays Sunday.
4 times the attendance. I mean, everybody sees it. It's clear. It doesn't. You could be a moron and understand that there's just a lot more money in the men's sport. Unfortunately,
It kills me when they argue and complain. Oh, it should be equal. There's no way to make it equal until you start bringing in the same thing that they bring in.
negotiate better. Increase the profit sharing percentage or something.
I mean,
That's
the
all
leagues
you
have
can
nothing
do.
to do with each other, correct?
The soccer leagues work together, but they don't support each other. Basketball used to have partnerships. They don't anymore. And baseball and softball have nothing to do with one another.
You know what I just found out that the basketball has a minor league?
Yes.
Yeah, the G League.
It's called the G League. There used to be 2
Mhm.
different minor league teams and they folded. They went out of business because the NBA got so big. If you can drive 2 hours to an NBA game, why are you going to support a minor league team and pay the exact same money? It's a lot different than like hockey and baseball. A lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakeland has a team locally.
Yeah, the Lakeland Magic are the affiliate of the
Yeah.
Orlando Magic.
And a lot of the players that would have gone to the G League actually prefer to go overseas because there's a lot more money and it's tax free. So you'll see players go over, overseas and play for a couple of years to develop their game. And the rules are a little different. It's not exactly the same. So
You're not allowed to touch anybody in Europe. They've got
No.
scores. Well, the problem is the scores are like 120 to 115.
Mhm.
They're missing 60 to 70% of the shots because the talent is not
yeah.
great. They're just taking a lot more shots because you can't touch, you can't bump, you can't hand nothing. You don't touch them. There's no defense in
It's
Europe.
almost like
as
the
far as-
NBA.
Yeah, pretty much
It's the same
nowadays.
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing now.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's our take on men's sports versus women's sports. If you want to write your he hates women email, send it care of STEM to
Life Sports Stuff Podcast at gmail.com.
if you
Or
want to death threats because we hate women, send it to STEM at Ask Lurch 99.
at gmail.com.
Yeah. You can badmouth STEM about this on Facebook at Life Sports Stuff Podcast. Or you can send nasty tweets to STEM about us bashing women at LSAS, whatever
It don't
Twitter is.
matter.
That he doesn't check it.
LAS
So
something.
yeah, he doesn't check it anyway. I know for a fact he doesn't. I'm going to send him something under an alias, and I guarantee he doesn't check it. So that's our sports take. Let us know what you think. Send us an email. If you follow the female sports, tell us why. Like, shoot us an email and tell us what it is you're seeing. I love tennis. I watch tennis. I watch all the Grand Slams. I used to watch the World Cup before it became political. I've gone to the softball games and it's really cool, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's equal to the men's sports. I'm sorry. I'm not that evolved, I guess. I don't think you can. Gentlemen, it's Halloween. Have you started doing your Halloween decorations yet?
No.
Do you decorate for
He's in an
Halloween?
apartment. What are you doing for an apartment
Yeah,
for decorating?
I'm not decorating anything here.
That's true. I forgot we're still mid-move.
Oh,
Lurch, did you decorate for the kids during Halloween?
No,
No?
not anymore. The kids are grown.
I'll show you what I did here in this house in a minute. We decorated everything. Mrs. Mickey makes me take out the Christmas tree, and we decorated for all the holidays. Right now, it's decorated for Halloween. We will take off the Halloween decorations in November. We'll put the Thanksgiving decorations on the tree, and then we will set it up for Hanukkah and Christmas.
you're
Go ahead,
one of
Dan.
those.
Make your comment. Make your comment.
You're one of those, are you?
We have stuff everywhere
No,
in the house.
no.
Have
Wouldn't do
you?
it.
All right. So Lurch, you don't have this. Brother Dan, have you done the costume shopping yet, or the costume making yet for the girls?
They've finally picked what they want to be, I believe, but we have not got it yet because last time we got them early, they changed their minds, and it's like, well, sorry, you're stuck with what you got. We've already got it for you. Well, no, I don't want to be that. I want to be something else. And then they change it, and we're like, all right, I'll wear that next year. Do they ever wear that next year? No.
No.
Nope.
So we're like, nah, we'll wait. It's the 7th. We got time. So we'll probably wait another week and a half, and then we'll go get their stuff taken care of. But yeah, no, last time we did it early, it backfired. So
We're lucky in this house. When Junior picks his costume, that's it. He usually picks like months in advance because we have to put his thing together. He is on a Disney villain kick the last 5 years, and we're running out of options. So he did pick a good one this year. And the princess picked hers 6 months ago, and I was waiting for her to change, and she never did. So I'm
That's
really
good.
happy about that. Now, Lurch, do you sit out front and still do candy, even though yours are out of the house?
We don't usually sit out front, but we turn the lights on, let kids ring the doorbell. We'll come to the door.
So that if they knock, you'll actually answer. You want to ignore them or pretend you're not home?
No, absolutely not. We answer the door. We buy candy every year.
Okay. And we discussed this last year. Are you buying the big size, or are you sticking with your little fun crap?
I buy a variety of bags of stuff, so I let them just take handfuls. So I
So
don't care.
you buy the fun size crap, you cheap bastard.
Hey, they get a handful of variety of stuff. So whatever they
You gotta
want,
go
they
to
can take.
you got to go to the rich neighborhoods. They give out the full candy bars. Yeah.
Brother Dan, do you guys sit out front and one of you take the kids trick or treat and the other one passes out, or how do you do it?
So when we had the house for 12 years, I would sit outside with the boys because usually you get some sport on, right? Be
Right.
a game, whether it was football, baseball, playoffs, whatever. You're watching something. So I'd go hook the TV up, put the tent out. We go all out, get a cooler of beer, and we'll sit out there. And then usually the wives will all take the kids around the block a couple times, and I would go around for a quick run or two, and then make sure we fill up their pillowcases so I could steal some of their candy.
Exactly.
And then that's it. That's how we do it. It's usually about 2-3 hours worth, and then we stay out till midnight, drinking, eating the kids' candy, and watching sports. That's what we do.
Every year I'll sit out front and pass out candy, and Mrs. Mickey will load up her glass of wine, and usually one or two friends will come over and they'll all go walk the entire neighborhood. Last year we went over friends' houses and walked with them, and Mom stayed home and passed out candy. I'm not sure what we're doing this year. The kids have friends in different neighborhoods now, so I'm not sure how they want to play it. I kind of would like to stay local, but I usually get outvoted. And the reason I'm talking about Halloween is we got a poll up, and we're going to leave the poll up, I think, another week or two. I think we can leave this up for a little while. What do you think? Leave the poll?
Sure.
Another
Yeah,
week.
we'll leave it up. We can talk about it, but we'll leave it up for you guys to vote. If you go to Life Sports and Stuff podcast on Facebook, we got the poll up. Your favorite horror movie villain. And we've got all the biggies up there. We got Michael Myers from Halloween. We got Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. Lurch added one. his favorite, the Candyman from Candyman movies, Pennywise from It, the clown, the killer clown. Who else were some of the ones that were put up there? Leatherface from
Ghostface from
Texas.
Scream.
Texas
Oh, yeah.
Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw, Ghostface from Screams up there. So the poll's up. We got about 30, 35 votes. It's a runaway right now with two people. Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers from Halloween seem to be the early front runners, but we'll see if that changes. What was your favorite horror movie? And Stem doesn't need to be here for this because he doesn't watch movies, and I know he definitely doesn't watch horror.
He'll say he didn't watch movies at that time. That's what he'll
Right.
tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have watched
So,
them then.
what's your favorite all time?
I think he's
right
full of
now?
shit.
You say that about everything about him, though.
You
Right
can-
now, the
he-
lights go off. Go ahead. What do you want to say? Go ahead, bash him. Go ahead.
He has to watch these movies, but growing up, everyone watched them.
He's full of shit. He's
I hate
bullshitting.
horror movies, and I've even seen them.
He's bullshitting you. Of course he's seen them.
All right. Well,
Doesn't mean he doesn't mean he liked
mean,
them. He just
Yeah,
when he
I mean,
returns next week,
hey,
we'll
I
ask
hate
him.
horror movies. I don't watch them now. I can't stand them.
But you
but-
did.
they're
But
predictable.
I did. Yeah.
What's predictable? What's
Don't
predictable?
Don't go in that. You open that door, you're dying.
You
Can't
know
open
what's
the
gonna
door.
happen.
The
Yeah, but
best
it's
is that
how?
new
It's the
commercial.
suspense.
What's that
Okay.
new
Oh.
commercial right now with the people running around and they go,
Is it?
"Should we get in
is
the
it a
running car
candy
and go behind
bar?
the chainsaws?"
Yeah, and the killer's standing there with a chainsaw, and he actually turns it off and he shakes his head like I can't. believe
Oh
it."
yeah. Let's go to the
Great
cemetery.
commercial.
All right, so Lurch, before you stopped watching it because they became so predictable, what was your favorite movie? Which one? Which one gave you the
I'd say
nightmares? Which one kept you up at night?
None of them, but I probably have to say Halloween the original two were probably the best. But I did like the original Candyman too.
Okay.
The
Brother
first one was
Dan,
good.
well-
The second one sucked. And I just
Well,
watched
they-
the remake, the new one.
Did you watch it? I didn't watch it. Was it good?
It was so predictable and dumb.
Brother Dan, favorite horror movie?
Well, I would say probably the one with the most nostalgia. That's probably why they're running. Michael Myers is hands down the best, killer in those horror movies at that time. I mean, better than Jason Voorhees, better than Freddy. Even though Freddy was probably the funniest of them. But yeah, Michael
Dream
Myers,
Warriors
and
was
they're actually
good.
they're doing another movie, by the way. That's coming
Halloween
out.
Kills.
Yeah,
Comes
Halloween
out in
Kills.
2 weeks.
Jamie Lee
It's
Curtis.
the last
is in it.
one.
Yeah,
has
yeah.
They said that about the
it's the
last
last
one.
And apparently the whole premise is everyone that survived the previous movies are all together, and he's coming after them. Whatever. So anyway, they're
Was
gonna
that the
they're gonna
last
do that
premise
if
of
they
the
can.
last one?
No, the last premise was that he returns and we find out she's still alive because everyone assumed he killed her in like number 7 or 8.
Yeah, he's still alive, and then the girl that was in like
But they
4
blow
or
up the building and he
5
was in the
is back
basement.
in there.
I saw
Yeah.
it. My wife made me watch it with her.
So,
Yeah,
but
sucked.
we watched it. We watched it. I am a Halloween movie junkie. I have 2 ringtones on my phone. One is my wedding song with my wife, and one is the Halloween movies theme song. For me, it was Halloween, and I'll tell you why. I actually have a reason. When you look at all these horror movies, they all seem a little far-fetched, like they can't happen. Like, all right, let's go Friday the 13th. First of all, it's called Friday the 13th, but it takes place in a campground. Well, not many people go camping and go to sleepaway camps and all that. So it's hard to compare. It's hard to put yourself there. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, great idea, great premise. As Lurch said, they probably gave him the most character. And as the movies went on, he had the best one-liners. But it's hard to picture yourself in a nightmare movie. Halloween. Name a kid you know that doesn't go Halloween and trick-or-treating. And think about it. When we were growing up, the first time we went trick-or-treating without our parents, everybody had a costume on. Everybody had a mask on. You're walking down the street, 100 kids. You have no idea who's who. Imagine one person standing in the middle of the street is a serial killer, and you'd never know. It was the most unrealistic, realistic of all the horror movies.
The first two.
Yes, the first two.
After
Because
that, it got stupid as hell.
Well, they all get stupid as hell.
Well, all sequels suck.
Yeah,
For the
all of
most
them.
part.
Like the third one had nothing to do with the first two, and then they went back to it. Michael Myers is not in Halloween 3.
No,
Has
it's like
nothing
a
to do with.
witch or something. It's about
Yeah.
witches. Yeah,
They
it made no sense.
completely sold it, and it was bad. But
I don't
like,
think I ever saw that one.
you know,
You're not missing much.
you're not missing much. It's about a crazed lunatic who owns a mask factory, and he puts these special magnetic things in the mask that will kill people instantly or so. It's so stupid.
It's stupid.
It was so dumb. But for me, it's always been the Halloween movies. Michael Myers. Like you could picture that house. You could picture, like, even before Michael Myers, you knew somebody who dressed like that.
It looked like our neighborhood we grew up in Long Island.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, it hands down was the best of the horror films. Like that was like the number one.
Yeah.
I mean, that like I said, the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street, they always had the funny one-liners, and as you know, it was more funny than scary most of the time.
Yes.
But
the first one was good because he didn't talk. Then when they
Right.
started doing 2 and 3 and 4 with Dream Warriors, he started getting personality. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute now. Come on. Now
Yeah.
he's a comedian who kills. For me, I love horror movies, but when it got a little kooky was when they crossed over. When Freddy met Jason.
Oh, and was that the space one? What was that?
No.
No, it
no,
was Freddy
what was
meets
the-
Jason. Then it was the
I think
one
it
in
was
outer
two-
space.
They did one with
2000
space and
yeah, the
stupid
space
shit.
one,
I'll be honest
and
with
They
you.
did the same thing
I've
with
only seen the
Alien.
first 3 on those, and I never seen any of them.
Then they did Alien versus Predator too. Like all
Yeah.
this stupid ass. Like, hey, I had an idea. Let's get high and come up with. We're gonna have Freddy and Jason go at it.
Can you imagine sitting in that room when someone goes, "Oh, the best horror movie was Alien"? No way, it's Predator. Oh my god! Imagine if they did it together, and 2 weeks
Yeah,
later they're
then
like,
they
"We have an
fought- they
idea."
fought-
Okay,
yeah, we have an
Aliens, the
idea.
original, is a
Hollywood bought
great
it.
fucking movie.
Yes,
With Sigourney
but-
Weaver. It was a
and
great
Predator,
movie.
the original Predators with Arnold Schwarzenegger
Oh,
and
great.
Jesse the Body
Great movie.
Ventura, Carl Weathers, great movie.
Yeah. Even the second one was not as good, of course, but it wasn't awful. It wasn't
never
great, but it
saw it.
was awful.
There's no reason for them to be put together.
No. I mean, you get away with 1 or 2, and then that's it.
Right? Because now you're cheering for one of them. People were cheering for the Alien,
I'll give you another
the
example.
Predator,
This is-
actually.
I'll give you another example. And this one's totally different. It was actually a little bit newer than that. It's probably, God, about what, 15 years old now. But remember when The Ring came out?
Yes.
That was a crazy, scary ass movie. And that was like, man, that was like realistic. When they did
don't
the
know that
second
one.
one, terrible. Terrible.
Oh, you never saw The Ring?
Oh, The Ring was great. Great horror flick. That was probably one of the better ones I've seen as an older, like, I don't know how old I was at the time, but maybe late 20s. But when that came out, look it up, Lurch. When did that come out? The Ring. Because that was actually a really solid. That was the first time I was like, wow, that was really good.
Early 2000s.
2002.
It's okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
So it's almost 20 years old. Wow.
Yeah, shit, damn, time flies.
Oh, I did
Lurch.
see that. That's the one with the TV.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
girl
yeah, 3
crawling out of the
days.
TV.
I
Yeah,
saw
she
half of
was
it,
like-
turned it off.
Really? I thought it was great. I thought it
I'm
was
not a
really
hot-
good.
I don't like horror movies. I really don't. Like
I
the new
don't
ones that
think I've
come
ever
out,
seen. I don't think I've ever seen the second one, but I know I saw the first one.
Second one was terrible. But the first one was great.
You
So,
want to know what horror movie? What really wasn't a horror movie? Freaked me out. The first one, The Blair Witch Project.
until everybody thought that until they came out and said, "Oh yeah, it was a spoof," because everybody thought it was
totally
real.
made up movie.
Well, they tried to
Right.
make it seem like it was real, like the actors who were in it or the people that were in it were dead.
For the first 2 weeks,
Yeah, You
they were
didn't see
playing
him.
it off. They were playing it off like it was
I
a real
did see it.
documentary.
yeah. You didn't see him.
The
And then they
second one
came
was
out.
the second one was horrible.
Stupid, terrible.
Oh, it was
I didn't
so
see the second
bad.
one. I saw it. My
You
wife
could- you
didn't
didn't
watch
miss
the first
anything.
one. I
You-
thought it was
So
dumb
your
as
wife, your wife makes you watch a lot of stupid movies online. Her lurch.
I don't watch them anymore. I refuse to watch horror movies anymore. She watches them with my daughter when I'm at work or traveling.
I mean, Halloween's my favorite time of year. Halloween, the time between Halloween and Thanksgiving are my favorite holidays and parts of the year. Halloween, Thanksgiving, you get time off from work, at least I do in my profession. My birthday, football. I mean, what? I mean, come on, what else? It's a great time. That's the best part of the year for me. Mid-October to the end of November. Hands down the best part of the year.
Agreed.
So, live sports stuff universe, let us know. Do you like Halloween? Are you a Thanksgiving person? What's your favorite Halloween? You got to go right now. Get on the Facebook page, Live Sports and Stuff Podcast. Go vote. And if one of the choices, because I just realized I don't think I put Jigsaw from Saw, the little puppet dude.
That's a good one too.
He's not on
Never
the
saw
list.
it.
God, Lurch.
What is wrong with you?
Between you and STEM? What the
Oh,
heck do you guys
God.
do?
I watch everything
Freaking-
else, but I don't do horror. It's the only topic
All
I
right.
don't watch.
All right. So you watch the first one. That one is awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Go watch the first one. Just watch the first of all of them. Don't watch any of the sequels except for Halloween. Go watch the first Saw. Go watch the first Ring. Just watch the first one and then come back and give us your honest opinion.
Yeah, probably won't do that, but okay.
And it's gnarly shit. So
Seriously. Sometimes it's like talking to STEM on here. He doesn't.
What was that one? 12 Ghosts or something like that?
13 Ghosts, amazing movie.
I saw that one. I thought it was boring.
Tell me it was. I wish we were in the same room. I would throw this at your face right now. I swear to you. 13 Ghosts was.
Tell me you say
great.
you like the Leprechaun ones too.
No, those were stupid. Those were funny. Those were funny.
again, that was a funny horror. Yeah. And yeah, Jennifer
Okay.
Aniston.
You know what horror movie I love the best?
Can't wait to hear this. Go ahead. What?
Saturday the 14th.
I actually tried to look that up and find it. I can't find
It's
it.
on YouTube. I watched it a couple months ago.
Is it a good copy?
But it's out
Right.
there.
I gotta find it. I would love. Have
You
Brother
think Friday
Dan.
the 13th is bad? Wait till Saturday the 14th.
So when Friday the 13th first came out, they made a spoof called
Did you
Saturday
see
the
that, Dan?
14th.
Which one?
Saturday
Saturday
the
the
14th.
Nope.
It was the scary movie spoofs.
Oh,
It was that before they started doing the scary movie spoofs. It was a real movie though. Tried to take it seriously and everything about these people who move into the house on Saturday the 14th and the house is haunted and things just fall apart. It is so bad, it's funny.
terrible.
It's early 80s. I want to say 82, 83. But it
81.
is 81. It is such a bad movie. Now I'm going to find it. I don't
Richard
have to work
Benjamin.
tomorrow. Yeah. All right. So that's our Halloween talk. We'll talk more Halloween. We'll let you know what our kids are dressed up as, how trick or treating went as we get closer to Halloween and celebrate the great day with the family. I'm going to go on a little rant right now. Stop me if I get too out of control. And I wanted STEM so bad to be here for this.
He did.
I'm officially done talking about the pandemic. Done.
Sure you are.
I'm over it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not anymore. Like, I think we've got it under control. And I think people are using scare tactics to keep people closed down. Did you see, I posted something, I think I sent it to you guys. Actually, I'm not sure if I did or not. The state of Florida right now is ranked 44th in the United States in COVID-19 cases per capita. So for the amount of people in our state, for the amount of people who are testing positive and being hospitalized, we're ranked 44th. Remember a year ago, we were the ones ruining it for the country and how dare the state of Florida do this? We're 44th out of 50. Like, I think we're getting it under control, and I think people are getting carried away with how they're addressing it I think people are jumping to conclusions and they're using scare tactics to take care of each other instead of actually listening to people. And I'll go as far to say that doctors aren't listening, because right now in this house, we're shopping for a new doctor, maybe because we can never get our doctors on the phone. And when you tell them what's wrong, they don't listen anyway. Well, the CDC says this. That's funny because none of what you just told me is what I told you.
Because they're covering
So,
their ass. That's what they're doing. They're just covering their ass. They're protecting their business because they know that they could be liable if something happens where, you know, God forbid, you know, you end up dead, and then they're like, oh, he got COVID, and you know, you didn't care for me properly, and you told me to do this, and that wasn't the right thing to do. So they're all puppets. They all say exactly what they're told to say because they're, like I said, covering their ass.
right. We know somebody whose child was sick and tested positive for COVID over the summer or earlier, about 2 months ago. And I want to know what the difference between is with their symptoms and that and an upper respiratory infection. And no one can answer that question for me,
It's all it is a very bad flu. It's
which
in
is what we said a
September.
year and a half ago.
Yeah, and no one's changed on it.
Like we before COVID, I would tell people if you don't feel good, go to the doctor. If you don't feel good, take medicine. If you don't feel good, stay home. And no one listens. People were coming to my job sick and getting everybody else sick. I'm sure people were going to your job sick and getting everybody else sick. Now something bad happened and COVID-19 comes around and we went full extreme to the other side. Now everyone's got to, you sneeze, now you stay home for 2 weeks. Like
We are
if
that way. We're that way now.
if my family did that every time someone sneezed or coughed, the allergy list in my house is huge. We would never leave the house. When are we allowed to stop being scared? I'm open for answers.
I mean, me
When-
personally, I'm over the mask situation already. My wife and daughter still wear masks everywhere. I go with them. I walk without a mask. Unless there's sign says I have to put a mask on, I'll put a mask on.
We've
I
had
can't
this
do it anymore.
conversation. We've had this conversation
Yeah.
about masks on the show previously, and I mean, the masks don't work. I mean, multiple studies have shown unless you have an N95 medical grade mask, it's useless. And all these people with their masks, they're useless. You're doing nothing but it's a security blanket for you. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel better, like I'm protected. You're really not. There's a lot more science in the vaccine than there ever will be with these stupid masks. So I agree with you there. When will it ever stop? It'll stop when the media doesn't have a year and a half, 2 year story to run on that's generating millions of dollars and TV TV airtime and ad space, because guess what? Everybody's watching. Everybody's glued to the TV. Look what's going on next. So what's happened with this Delta variant and what's the next one and blah blah blah. So until that story ends, until the media stops making this like every day, what do you turn on? Yeah, all you ever hear is COVID, COVID, COVID. Oh, some girl got murdered in a state park. Okay, now back to COVID. You know, that's all you ever hear. So I don't even listen to the news anymore. Tired
Neither
of it.
do I. I'm tired of, oh, they sneezed. They got to go home for 10 days. Oh, they coughed.
Mhm.
Can't be here for 10 days.
Yep. I've already had to, my daughter is now, my oldest one's now in middle school, and there was a child in one of her classes that tested positive that sat at a table where she sat, and she was forced to go home and quarantine for 5 days. Now I believe that CDC has changed it now, so there's no more quarantine. But at the
Yeah.
for that, but she had to at the time. Had to go pick her up. They sent her to the office. Had to go pick her up, and she couldn't come back for 5 days. And she had to get a test, so they had to get a negative test. She was fine. We tested her actually 3 times just for the hell of it, and she was negative and was able to return to school, but she lost 5 days of school. She had to do online work,
Which is
remote
basically her
work.
teaching herself.
Right. So yeah, I agree. I've been over it. I had a conversation with a coworker today, and we were talking about a little bit about that. And I said, I think there's science to, vaccines, just like we did with the flu. We had the Spanish flu 100 years ago that wiped out millions of people. And yes, I know they're like, oh, this wiped out a lot more people. Well, yeah, there's a lot more people on the earth 100 years later than there
Yes.
were at that time. And this was, there's airplanes that travel globally now that did not travel. We didn't have airplanes then. So that's where most of your stuff travels. Like I as you know, I missed last week's show. I was deathly ill, vomiting and everything, and I thought it was either stomach bug or food poisoning. I could have got it. Nobody else had it before. When I got home by Thursday, I was sick. I flew on a plane Monday to come back from Phoenix. I could have got it on the plane, and guess what? I had to wear a damn mask the whole time. So
For what? Like, there's a joke on social media right now where it shows a cashier behind a plexiglass.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
good.
And the woman's like, thank you for being protected behind the plexiglass, as the woman's taking her food and with all her hands touching the lady's stuff.
And taking that cash.
Yeah, like, what asinine rules do we have?
Well, you see
Like-
the ad that came out with the guys like, we have a virus that's so smart it knows that it can't touch you when you're sitting down eating your food at your table. without your mask on.
What did you see the social media thing I posted the other day about you entering a restaurant and keeping your mask on for 7 feet till you get to your table is
Stupid.
the equivalent of making sure you go to the piston section in a pool before you pee.
Stupidest
Like-
thing ever.
Like, we're living in fear. And I'm
Read
tired
a
of people
book.
saying, I am tired of people saying, well, if you get vaccinated, you're less likely to get it. Well, what's the difference? I know people who are not vaccinated who got it who are still alive. And people who are vaccinated who got it are still alive.
Well, I believe we're all vaccinated here, right? I don't think anybody.
We are.
on the
I've got
show-
all
yeah,
three of them.
Okay, yeah. So we're all vaccinated here. So, I don't. I think it's either just at the point, and it has nothing to do with your political party affiliation or your religious. Well, religious beliefs are a little different, but you either want to do it or you don't. The people that want to do it have done it by now, and the people that don't want to do it
I'm not
haven't
going to
done
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
No.
you may like, oh, we got 40 people to sign up today because they were trying to get in the football game. Yeah, all right, you get 140 people here or there that like, oh crap, I want to go see this football game. Well, I guess I better take it. The kind of in betweeners. But by now, if you wanted it, you took it. If not, you didn't. And I even hesitate. And I never took the flu shot previously. I hated taking the flu shot, and I got
Never
it
took a
maybe,
flu shot in my life.
yeah, I got it maybe once or twice in the
I do it.
last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. So I don't do it. I never was a vaccine guy, but with this, I jumped on it because I knew, one, that it was deemed that if you didn't do it, then there were going to be repercussions for it. And unfortunately, that's just society we live in. You're allowed to fire somebody, for whatever you wanted to. Like, sorry, you can't work here if you're not vaccinated. So, I mean, even my company is starting to do things like that, where they're like, hey, you have to be vaccinated, otherwise you can't travel, can't go to meetings, can't do this, can't do that. And then the next step is, sorry, you can't work here. So,
Which is funny because you can't fire people for being incompetent and being crap at their job, but you can fire them for not getting a shot that
Amen.
may or may not have any effect at all.
that's a topic for a different day.
Amen.
Like, that's
But
a
hey,
society.
you
we
want to
live in.
read a great book? Read Michael Crichton's State of Fear. You remember he wrote ER and all that shows? He
Mhm.
wrote a phenomenal book, State of Fear. One of my favorite books I've ever read. It talks about how they keep the people in line by keeping them in a state of fear. And we're living it right now.
Mhm.
I mean, it goes back to the old saying, you want me to worry more about you than you're ever going to worry about me.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing with that, right? So you got all these people, they're still, some people are masking up and all that. but they're still going out. I go to restaurants and
Mhm.
I work. Everybody knows I work for a manufacturer that we make fries and grains and avocados and all that, and I sell to independent restaurants. I go in there and they're packed. They're all busy. Everybody's out dining. People are going back to the office. My wife's going back to the office soon, at least a couple of days a week. So, and it's a very liberal company she works for. So they're everybody's out still doing things, and the supply chain is trying to catch up. We're still trying to catch up. So like life goes on. We have to get over the fear and live life again. Be normal. Stop with this, I can't go in there because I can't wear a mask type bull crap. Because I'll tell you that it's not helping you. You
Yeah.
want to know what's going to help you? The vaccine's going to help you. That's about it.
And it's not
End of
even going to
story.
help you. It's just going to make people leave you
No,
alone.
it'll it's supposed to reduce the severity of the symptoms. Do I know? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what I'm told. That's
If
what
you
science
say
says.
if you say you're vaccinated, people are 99% less likely to bother you.
True, true, true.
You know,
And
there's always that one person who wants to know what kind, when did you get it? Did you get the second? Did you get the booster? Did you? Shut up. I dare somebody to start that conversation with me right now in the mood I'm in this week. Shut up.
yeah, he was ranting on the text messages. Huh,
Oh,
Lurch? He was going off, and we're like, what the hell is going on
Yeah.
here?
yeah. Well, the people who said they would never get the vaccine, these are the vaccines that the former president approved. So for all the people who said you were never going to get them and you're now getting them, more proof you're morons. So that's my little rant. It wasn't as bad as it's going to be. I really wanted to say more, but you know what? I want everyone to be safe, but I also want everyone to start using their own common sense. I need you,
Go back to
America.
work.
I need. That's another thing. I'm done. I will no longer accept the world is shorthanded. Screw you. If your restaurant seats 100 people and you have staff for 20, only seat 20. If you seat me at a table, I expect to get service, and I will not tip you if you give shit service. And I spent 18 years in the restaurant business. I know what a good tip is, and I know the difference between good service and bad service. Like
You hit that the other
Lurch,
day.
like when I come to you, I call you. Is it a good time to bring the car? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, I'll be right up. If the answer
And
is no,
right now
I'm
it's
not coming.
99% no.
I got no fucking help.
Been trying for 3 weeks.
No. No. You don't show up for your appointments either. When you say you're
No.
coming.
That's because I don't. Yeah, that's true. I have missed it. It's true.
Not me. I call them up.
You
when I
called me the
have
other day and
time,
said it was not a good day. I had 3
and
guys in the shop. It was not a good day.
I'll tell me when. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He'll tell me, and I bring it. But I'm done with people. Like that's why we're looking for a new doctor. Do you know our doctor's office on their answer machine could take up to 72 hours to return your call? I'm going to be either cured or dead by the time you return my call. By the time you call me back, I won't need you.
Oh, please. I went to the doctor today, to the cardiologist today and stuff, and she wants me to run these 2 tests. I said, okay, no problem. You know when I'm getting these tests done? The end of December is the first time they can get me in.
They did that to me, and they do that to Miss Mickey all the time. Oh, you need to get this done right away. Okay, when can I go? 4 weeks from now. What? Why did you say right away?
Yeah, my doctor made me go right away to a cardiologist to follow up on something that happened last week. And this, and this. Go to the doctor today. The cardiologist finally got to see me. Oh, yeah, we can use this test, and run blood work. Okay, no problem. I go up front to schedule the appointment for the 2 tests. Oh, December 19th, December this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess it's not that important.
Well, and the future, like Teledoc and those things, those are your
That shit
future.
pisses
Everything's
me off.
digital though. But that's the future. Everything's
Teledoc
digital.
pisses me off. If I have a problem, I'm going to you for a reason. I want you to check me out. Listen to my heart. Let's check my blood pressure. Check all that shit out. And give me, I want to know, don't call me on a computer and say, well, we can't see you right now because of COVID, but, and you're still charging me the same price if I come to your office for an office visit.
Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. No. I'll come
We have
to
Some companies do like where you only pay, instead of like paying $20, it's a $10 for a
Oh, really?
Not my
virtual visit.
insurance.
Yeah, some do. They'll
me
charge
those
you
names.
$10 for that.
Send me those
Oh.
companies. I would love to go there.
You sure?
Yeah, I know. Right now, we don't go see any of those quacks. All right, live sports and stuff. Universe. I'm looking at the clock on the wall. STEM, Addy. Hope you had a good night. Sorry you guys
He's
lost.
home. He's back home.
And he'll be cranky. Let him be cranky.
By the way, Tampa Bay's still kicking the shit out of Boston's 5-0.
Yeah.
This game's
You
over.
like the new edition?
What'd you get? Oh,
Really?
nice. You suck.
I
'Cause
finally
I was
found
gonna,
him a-
I was gonna give it to Junior, and you kept it for yourself. You suck. All right, it's top of the ninth, 2 out. Tampa Bay 5, Red Sox nothing.
over.
For those of you keeping track
Game
at
over.
home, we had a good show tonight. We talked a little about sports, male versus female sports. Look, I love female sports, but don't tell me you should get paid the same thing when there's 12 of us watching you. It's not going to work. Halloween is right around the corner. Hope y'all are getting ready to go trick or treat, and go trick or treating with your kids. Don't just open the door and let them run wild. Be part of it, because then you have no right to eat the candy if you weren't there taking it.
Yeah, Dan.
What are you talking about? It's split duty. Yeah, I pass
Yeah,
out.
at least she's
she
outside.
goes to row. Yeah, come on. Chill out, homie.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
You go chill out with those fun size musketeers and shit.
Go buy the real thing, you cheap
Good
bastard.
bars.
The big ones. Big. Look at my hands. Do you see my hands? Big. Yeah, freak.
Your kids don't
And-
get them. You take all of them.
Well, because my kids only eat 3 pieces of candy each, then they don't eat the rest. So I'm okay.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. See? There you go. Mrs. Mickey.
Mrs. Mickey.
There you go. Live Sports Stuff Universe. I want you to have a good week. I want you to be good to each other. Don't take any shit from anybody. Have fun. I'm Mickey.
I'm Lurch.
You're not Splurch. Not Brother Dan.
Then we'll be back next week, whether you want them or not. And we are out of here.
I feel so fake these days, like nothing matters though I wanted to. My skin's become so thick, it makes me sick to know I've become like this. Let me be who I once was, the person I know I am. 'Cause I can't take no more the way I'm living. It's like I'm dying, taking, not giving. It shouldn't be this way. It's gotta change. Days turn to months, 2 years. I felt all the fears in this twisted world, believing what I wanted to hear. I knew it all, I could not be told. Here I stand with open eyes, no longer blind I see. 'Cause I can't take no more the way I'm living. It's like I'm dying, taking, not giving. It shouldn't be this way. It's time for changing everything I know and everything I do, to become a brand new self, but not be someone new. I can't take more